Hey there, how's it going? I'm back with another book review. I just got through finishing myself. That was it's an awesome it's an awesome read, and the series on this book is actually fixing to come out this Saturday, August 9th, on Stars. It's the Outlander series right here. There we go, by Diana Gabaldon, the Outlander series. This is the first book. The second one I'm going to go out and, of course, pick up not too long from now is Dragonfly and Amber, something like that. But anyways, like I said, just to break this one down for you, I would say it's probably about a medium-sized novel. Not too awfully bad. A little bit more than your average here. Like I said, serious applicants need not apply. But I will say that I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, there's a few spots in there that was a little weird. Especially being a guy. I mean, a lot of these things are kind of taken for being romance novels. Which, hey, if you're secure in your manhood, hey, you should be able to read a romance novel and pick up a few things, by God. That's what I say, because, hey, guys nowadays need all the help they can get because of all the bad things going on in the world. Hey, bringing a little romance in, it don't hurt a dead burn bit at all. So, you never know. You get some good ideas from some of these things. But, like I said, to spur you further rattling and prattle from me, let's get right into it here. The chief characters of the book, obviously, it starts out with Claire Beauchamp, or Beauchamp. I might be mispronouncing that. And she starts out with her then husband, Frank Randall. And they are finally getting to enjoy their second honeymoon. Their first one was kind of, he is he's an intelligence agent for the military, which it's set during the Second World War. and she is a nurse. So as you can imagine, war breaks out at the time that they eventually, when they first get married. So they really never had a chance to take that honeymoon that they've always kind of wanted to do. They were kind of rushed into things, and so now for the first time, Claire and her husband Frank are getting a chance to take that much overdue honeymoon. And amid that, they're also trying to kind of get started in the whole starting a family department, which is also always kind of fun. The trying is always the fun, But anyways, so that's going on, and Frank is a noted genealogist. He loves documenting things and researching his family tree and his history, and I mean, Claire kind of thinks it's interesting, and she listens, and she kind of pays attention a little bit, and then she drones out a little bit because a lot of it's monotonous, and so Frank goes about this place, and they're in the Scottish Highlands at this moment, and of course he's going over all the things and looking at various places and stops where some of his relatives were in the past, and he's all in it, man. And she's kind of along for the ride, but her main focus is she studies all these different remedies and plants, because her being a nurse and a doctor kind of a thing, she likes to see all the things that could go into all the local plants and herbs and stuff that could go into treating patients. And so her interest is more kind of involved in that. Well, as things goes on, something happens, and she finds herself all the way instead of being 1940s, all of a sudden she's back in the 1740s. Wow, at the same spot all of a sudden. And all this stuff gets going on, and she finds these people, and at first she thinks what could be like a reenactment or something, and she's not really sure what's going on, and it's still takes her a lot of time to kind of figure out what's going on, and you know, and then in the middle of this, there's a there's a big scuffle and a fight, and all this goes on, and there's confusion, and you know, and then one guy thinks that she thinks is supposed to save her, and well, then this other guy comes, and I don't know, and she meets then there's this jerk, and she later finds out that this guy was actually one of the fifth generation removes great guys that was related on one of those charts that her husband kept talking about, that's related to her husband Frank. But it doesn't quite dawn on her yet that this whole thing is not some type of joke, or that she might be dreaming or something. And as things goes along, she finally begins to realize that she's not going to wake up or something, and that this is more real. And then she finds herself at Locke at some of these places, and she meets some of these things and the adventures that ensue, and like I said, and then she meets this one stranger on the road that she doesn't really know his name, and they kind of tell her one name, and so for a while she thinks he's this, and later again more of his past, kind of who would later become Jamie. Later his past starts to unravel a little bit, and we learn a lot more about him. We learn a lot more about his companions, McDougal, Mackenzie, and Murtaugh. Like I said, you're gonna love that guy, and all these guys that eventually call him Mackenzie, the Mackenzie clans over there in the Scottish Highlands, and all these things. Some great characters come out of this. Even Gilly, Duncan, and some things. And here's the question. If she could come back, if Claire could all of a sudden be finding herself in the past, is there a possibility that other people could have also come to the past? Could it happen? There's a question there that you're going to kind of be answered a little bit into this thing, and it gets very interesting. So it's not just a romance novel. It has a little bit of romance novel, but it has a little bit of rugged country novel into there that I also love, and I found appealing. I do like Diana Gabaldon's writing style. I think it's great, and much like Bernard Cornwell or George R.R. Martin in the research aspects, and a lady that I talked about earlier, Alison Ware, and what they go into in the research and the background that they go into. I will say I commend Miss Gabaldon on her research of Scottish history, and not just Scottish history, but also pagan influences and the Norse influence on the northern parts there, especially the Gaelic speeches and things. I mean, she was spot on, and I'll tell you this. I mean, on my mother's side of the family, I'm Scottish from Clan McFarlane, and on my father's side, I'm Norman, of Viking ancestry, because my ancestors came over with William the Conqueror back in 1066 A.D. I'm a little genealogist myself, amateur albeit, from Normandy in France to help take over the throne of Britain back in the day. So to say that I really loved the blending of not only the Scottish but also the Norman influence and the Gaelic on the Highlands of Scottish that she nailed completely in this book was I was very impressed, and she hit it spot on, because there's so many things and inconsistencies that's out there, but I mean she nailed it on the dot. And like I said, and as you go through and what happens to her and how she finds out that his real name is Jamie, and what is the character of Jamie, and some of the inhabitants of the Clan Mackenzie, and what they're doing, and the development and the overall progression of the characters of Dougal and some of these guys, and You know, the things that you'll happen that it's amazing. It's got a great story, and like I said, and it's parted up into 7 parts. It's about 850 pages in this paperback edition right here. About 850 pages, 7 parts. And so it's got 41 chapters in there. So, like I said, it's a very readable book, and I was able to get it done before the series came out. And the ending is awesome, especially her going on into Wentworth Prison, and also the chapel, the Saint Anne, Saint Anne's of Beauchamp's chapel over there in France. Also towards the ending, awesome, great. Not only does she go to these awesome two awesome great places in the past, but she describes them great. The characters, the bishops. All these things great characters. You gotta love that. You gotta love Father Ansel, man. He's awesome, man. You gotta love him. He does a great job. But like I said, throughout this whole thing in progression, I implore you to stick with it. This is a great novel, and the ending, like I said, is great, and it's ready to go into the next one, and it gets you started. It gets all the central things started. Expertly, and with an expert hand and a fine-tooth comb, and so I think you'll enjoy it. It's a great read. It's authentic. You can read in confidence, knowing that it's not just some romance novel or time travel novel that somebody splashed a few Scottish names in there, or fighting techniques or things like that, and hope to get a whole bunch of sales. No, this Diana Gabaldon, she does her research, and she doesn't it's worth the $7.50 that you put down for it. She gives you your money worth and then some. I highly recommend you go out and buy the book, and I think that you will thoroughly enjoy it. It's not just a romance novel. Hey, life's full of romance, action, a little time travel. So it's a reality book. That's what it is. And I highly recommend you go out and get yours today. Keep on reading from my bookshelf to yours. And I hope you're watching this Saturday night, August 9th, on Stars for the Outlander series.